Surely.
7 o'clock, so we can come to order. Start with roll call.
Arnold,
Here.
Beckwith,
Here.
Falcapisi, Flores,
Here.
Cotsinis,
Here.
Hamilton,
Here.
and Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No.
Mission statement: to enrich, empower, and enlighten the people of Warren Newport Public Library District. Public comment. Does anyone wish to speak in public comment? All right, hearing no one. Consent agenda.
We have
Oh, we do
correspondence.
have correspondence.
Yes.
What do we have?
We have a congratulations card on the 50th anniversary of the library from the White House.
Oh, thank you.
And then the second one is a thank you card to the trustees from the communications department.
Consent agenda. Does anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda? If not, do we have a motion?
I move we accept the consent agenda as listed. I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right. Nothing is removed. President's report is on page 8. Does any other trustee have a report?
I did just want to mention State Representative Jonathan Carroll effectively resigned on January 5th from his position. He's District 57, so it doesn't affect us, but still represents some of Lake County. And Tracy Katzmule has been appointed to serve the remainder of the term. And Jonathan wasn't running, Representative Carroll wasn't running for re-election this term. They're on 2-year cycles. Tracy was actually, had filed, and he said he wasn't going to, and so she'll probably be the state representative for a while. It's Cook and part of Lake, so Northbrook, other parts from them. I'm not as familiar with that area, but thought it was important information for people to know.
Very useful. Anyone else? All right, director's report, page 10.
So in addition to what's in the director's report, just want to give the board an update on the RFP we sent out for the automated materials handler, which AKA the book sorter. Responses are due this Friday. We've received 2. I know we'll receive at least 2 more, so that's a good sign. We sent it directly to 9 vendors, the ones that we know in library land that do this thing. A few of them got back to us and said that it's bigger than the size of vendor the sort of they usually do. So we'll see. So we'll know by Friday who who's submitted a response, and we'll go from there. So in terms of the timeline, the board will take this up prior to committee of the whole in February on the 6th. So stay tuned for that, and I'll share electronically the information about these vendors. I imagine, although the criteria isn't just about price, I think one of the major criteria is price. So probably we'll end up going to the lowest vendor, but we'll see. So
Okay, so we'll need a special meeting for this?
yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about size?
Yeah,
The
and
size of like
they
what?
they have to fit. It has to fit the parameters. So with the RFP, how many pages was that, Gina, that we sent out? It was big. It was a lot of work. So in the RFP,
Size might-
you put in everything you're looking for. Like this is the room that we're, because we're not, the idea behind this project is we're not gonna pull out a wall to get a bigger sorter. It's gonna fit within the sorter room we have. So this is the space you have, it's gotta do this, it has to be, this amount of decibels of noise, all those things. So it's very specific what we've asked for, so.
And fit through a door then before it's assembled?
They will have to figure that out. They've got the drawings of our building, so they know
Yeah.
all the things they need to. If they want to visit and measure, some of them have been here in the past, they can do that, so. The other thing that's not in the board packet, I just wanted to mention that State Representative Eva Dina Delgado has filed House Bill 4258, which amends the License to Read Act, which essentially is the ebooks bill that ILA is moving along. So we'll see how that goes. I know that the American Association of Publishers have already reached out to Representative Delgado and has some concerns. So I guess the battle has started, so to speak, with this legislation. So we'll see. They're a formidable lobby group, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of opposition to this. So we'll see what happens. Any questions about anything else in the director's report?
Could you just speak briefly about the Radent digital signage solution?
Yeah. So what this is we have basically the signs in the library. We've done different things in terms of controlling what's on those signs. We've done I don't know that there's been I can't speak to the technology, but flash drives on a screen. Communico has a software which is very clunky, and they even admit that it doesn't work very well. So we purchased this Radiant technology to address that challenge. So
I have the bill right here. $1,132.
I can speak to it a little bit. So we have a number of devices, and they're all different models and years, so you had to do each of them a little bit differently. So some of them, like Brian mentioned, were like screensavers, some of them were flash drives, and this gives us the capability of doing it from a portal, and you can push the content out to all of the screens, and you can update it very easily as well.
Cool. Thank you.
And we're still exploring some of the functionality, but in theory, we could put our Instagram feed on there. You could have it, it could be the weather, and then a library program, and then your Instagram feed, and then whatever. So it's pretty robust in what we can put on there. We've just touched the surface, honestly.
Yeah.
But.
How many digital signage screens do we have right now?
6.
And we are not even paying anything extra for this software. There was money in the budget to replace the small form factor boxes which are connected to these televisions. So that money is being redirected, at least for the initial purchase for this.
Excellent.
So we're going to evaluate this and, evaluate down the road. That Communico tells us that they're trying to improve their digital display signage. So we'll look at that, assuming those improvements come and compare with the product we have, because we're paying for Communico. But right now, it's not realistic for us to use it. It's too clunky. So.
Any other questions on the director's report? If not, let's move on to old business. Mobile services vehicle purchase. How did that go?
Well, it went well. I would like to appreciate both George and Andrea for replying when we were in the process of searching for this. And I understand Andrea reached out to a couple other trustees as well. I think Joe and Bonnie also provided input on this. So, as you will recall, the board allocated $30,000 for this mobile services vehicle. So we found a few that we liked. One of them was slightly over the $30,000 though, but this vehicle was new, came with a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. The other one had 37,000 miles on it. I thought, well, it makes a little bit of sense to spend a little bit extra money to get the more value. I wanted, though the board only approved 30,000, I wanted to make sure the board was agreeable to that. And the majority of the board agreed. Andrea did a nice breakdown of cost over time and proved that by her math, even the new vehicle is cheaper, it's gonna only cost us 21 cents per mile versus the used 27 cents per mile, so it was a pretty easy decision, because everyone was in
That's just the
agreement.
vehicle, not
Yeah.
gas and.
Right.
Insurance and all that.
So it's going to get shipped here. It's a white vehicle. We allocated some money in the budget for PR for mobile services transition. So what we're going to do is use that money for a wrap on the vehicle. We thought about a magnet, but we thought, well, money's in the budget, and I think in terms of PR use of dollars, people always see us driving around town, so it'll be a good use of our PR budget. So that's the plan. It should get here into January, and we're working on a wrap for it. So.
What was the final amount then? It wasn't 30?
31,700.
Oh, so just like,
A little bit.
A little bit over.
Yeah.
So just for a little bit more, I mean, not that that's nothing, but for $1,700
Yeah.
more dollars, yeah,
For
with
brand
the
new vehicle.
extended warranty,
Yeah,
with the
it's a
life of the
no-brainer.
vehicle, well, in the long term, it'll be more cost effective.
Any other questions about the vehicle? All right, building systems update. It's warm in here.
Yeah, so we are, it's not 100% complete, but we're 99.9% of the way. In terms of what's outstanding, the village inspection, which is the 18th, this Thursday morning. The one thing that may not be done by the inspection is there are pipes that were rerouted that need to be painted yellow, but I'm sure the Amber tells me that because they're gonna try to get up and do it, but the weather probably is not gonna be conducive to that. So probably what will happen is they'll tell the village, we'll do it, we'll take a picture, send it to you so you can complete the inspection. And in terms of the control systems, there is a small graphics error that needs to be fixed, but Miguel has access to the controls, and he's had some basic training, but he is gonna get some formal training on that system. And in terms of a couple other things, one thing that wasn't in the scope of this project is what I would term a walking bridge. That's something that even Kevin discussed when he was here, and Miguel pointed out this was an issue, and Amber agreed. So basically, there is if you go to the roof, and I've been there a few times, it's not a fun place. There is this almost like a gap where it dips down, it goes straight, it dips up again, and it's really a safety hazard. I think it's a liability issue. So what I would like to do with some of the money we saved, unless there's vehement objection from the board, is to build a walking bridge. We're talking 16 to 18 feet across. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer because I think it's a liability issue. Otherwise, I think it has been. So I don't know what the board thinks of that. Is there any objection to us using some of this ones for that?
will it come up in the village inspection?
It should not, no. I could ask the village when they're here if they need to come back and look at it, but I think that's independent. That's a good question.
Well, if it's a safety issue though, why would it?
It passed before, so it'll still get in, because we didn't make any roof changes.
I think it sounds like a good idea, but I'm sure it'll be attached in such a way as not to cause more roof leaks.
Oh, yeah, this is really think of it as a bridge. I'll get a picture and I can show the board at the next meeting, so you know what I'm talking about.
I have an idea, it's just that, we've had so many roof leaks.
Right. Yeah. Oh, we don't want to do anything that's gonna penetrate the roof.
Yeah,
That's not, that will, this will not.
Because we get that membrane up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And in terms of costs, we're gonna get multiple quotes for it. Amber's already quoted it. We're gonna talk to our roofing company. I think we're talking a couple $1,000s. We're not talking, once again, not insignificant money, but not, we don't have to bid it out or anything formally. But we'll get multiple quotes for it.
And that has been that way all along, this dip there? huh?
Ever since, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
so.
The board doesn't want to go.
No, we don't need to do that on our walkthrough in the fall, no.
Yeah, wait, why not? That sounds
Go
fun.
right to it. Spider
Maybe not
Man.
today.
All right, any other questions on the building systems?
Just glad it went off without any problems. That was great.
That moves us to approval of semi-annual review of closed executive session minutes.
You want a motion, Jim?
Need a motion for this
Okay,
one?
I move that the board approve the semi-annual review of closed executive session minutes for the second half of 2023 as presented.
All right, can we get a roll call for this one, please?
Beckwith.
Aye.
Farkapisi.
Aye.
Sutton.
Aye.
Hamilton.
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Flores.
Aye.
Cotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, and then page 21, the amendment to the semi-annual review of closed executive minutes.
Yeah, I think I wrote that down incorrectly, so so I just need to, I'll put a little amendment on the top, on the one that's really filed in the binder, and then we can approve it. I mean, I'll do that after we approve it.
So we need a motion for this one as well.
Hold, that's such a lot.
I move that the board approve the amendment to the semi-annual review of closed session, executive session minutes and recordings from July 18th, 2023 as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call for this one as well.
Hamilton.
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Beckwith.
Aye.
Flores.
Aye.
Farkapisi.
Aye.
Sutton.
Aye.
Cotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, monthly financial statements, page 22. Andrea or anyone else, any questions or concerns?
Printed the pages I was interested in. So are we done paying for the roof thing?
No,
looks like there's more money
there
to
should be
spend
a,
on that.
yeah, there's a check in there, yeah.
Oh, I
So at
see.
least one more payment, yeah.
Oh, okay, so these are our statements from before.
Yeah, this is November, so
Yeah,
there's still
I
a
saw
lot missing.
I signed the big check,
Yeah,
181,000. I think that was all I had, because Doug did a great job of explaining variances. Does anyone else have any questions, Wendy?
No.
I noticed that we do have a lot of money in the Illinois money market fund, or whatever that is. And I know we're earning a good interest rate. How does that compare to what we
Yeah.
can get?
it's pretty much
Bless you.
the same at this rate, because it's wonky, because they're
So pretty
making the
much it's
adjustments.
not the same.
No, it is. I mean, I haven't checked since last month, but I asked Doug the same thing a month ago, prior to the last board meeting, it didn't come up. At that time, there were actually some CDs that were getting a little bit of a less of a return because of the anticipation of the rates changing. So I can find out exactly for you and let you know.
I just want to keep an eye on this, because we
Yeah.
got a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And, as we saw last year, we made a lot of money.
Yeah,
So even a small percentage on
Sure.
$100,000.
yeah,
Starts to be something.
absolutely, no.
I just want to keep an eye on it every month. That was it. Anybody else have any questions? Then I saw the budget calendar. I think that's next on the agenda. Is that right, George?
We need to have a motion for this one though, first.
I move to accept the November 30th, 2023 financial statements as presented.
I'll second.
All right, roll call for this one.
Beckwith. Sutton.
Aye.
Hamilton.
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Flores.
Aye.
Farkapisi.
Aye.
Cotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, and then it takes us to page 80, the ordinance for tax abatement service.
So as everybody's been here more than a year, we all know we do this every year, except for the year that we didn't.
Let's try to forget that, Andrea. We won't forget the lessons we learned, but let's try to forget that.
Forget what? So, I move that we pass ordinance number 2023/2024-6, an ordinance abating bond debt service levy for the year 2023 as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, can we get a roll call for this one?
Hamilton.
Aye.
Arnold.
Aye.
Beckwith.
Aye.
Sutton.
Aye.
Farkapisi.
Aye.
Flores.
Aye.
Cotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, and we'll do the proper signing of that right after this?
Yes.
Very good. All right. That takes us to our per capita grant application, page 82. Any issues anyone saw on the application? If not, can we have a motion for it?
I move that the board approve the 2024 per capita and equalization aid grant application as presented.
I'll second.
All right, roll call for this one as well.
Flores,
Aye.
Farcapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, policies. Board policy 1003, electronic participation at meetings, page 91. Any questions on this one?
Joe and I wondered on the way here if it would be a weather-related. We looked and it didn't.
There were no edits on this one, so.
Can we get a motion for this one?
I move that the board approve policy 1003, electronic participation at meetings as presented.
My apologies.
I'll second. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor for this one?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Very good. Next policy, 4045. Social media. Any questions or concerns on this one?
Is there anything we added? Same. Yeah.
Can we get a motion for it?
I'll motion that the board approve policy 4045, social media as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? We're good. Moving on to strategic plan, page 94. Ryan, how are we coming on the plan?
I think really well. I mean, there's still a lot in the plan that we need to do, but, and this format will probably change in terms of the way it's presented. But it's such a meaty plan. I thought the best approach was, okay, let's share with the board where we've made progress. And I'm happy to answer any questions about where we are in other goals. Some of the goals that we have in our strategic plan aren't scheduled for us to take on yet, so there are no goals that we are behind schedule, as they're stated in the plan. I really think we've, in terms of all the strategic priorities where we've made a lot of progress, and I kind of think is one of the most, I know all these priorities are important, but I think organizational health was a big focus going into the strategic planning process, and I feel like we've made a lot of advancements there. I think we dramatically improved our internal communications. We've accomplished a lot in the internal communications committee, and I'm really proud of that. And it's been a real team effort. And really all these things have. I really feel with the implementation of the committee structure, while it's still a work in progress and still there are tweaks that need to be made, I feel like we're getting more done, we're collaborating more, and I feel good about where we're at right now.
I mean, that's reflected as you read through this, how it's such a team approach, and you get a lot more done that way,
Yeah, and the other thing too is that not only is it a team effort, but there's buy-in from staff on our initiatives. There's not a lot of pushback, and I think that can be attributed to more people having a voice at the table too and contributing. So that helps that. So yeah.
All right, any other questions on the strategic plan?
You've probably already told us, but just because I think it had been a while, who exactly is making the Warren Newport Public Marketing Committee?
Everyone that's on it. Let me look it up. Off the top of my head, I can't remember everybody. So I can tell you that Sandy is the chair, or head of communications. There we go. This committee is just getting going, and I don't see the charge document right now, so. Rebecca, off the top of your
I can
head,
pull it up.
let's see. I think Rebecca and I are on it, Sandy, is it Jessica? Is our head of youth services?
So it is Sandy, Jessica, Maria, Jenny Hadish, Kathy Pfeiffer, myself and Ryan, Karen, Eric, and Jennifer, which is the communications team, along with Sandy as the chair.
And this is a larger committee than most of them, but I think that can be true to the fact we have the entire communications team involved, since they're such a key role in our marketing efforts, so.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one final thing, and I didn't know if there needed to be anything specific. I know that you guys have started to do more programming in Spanish or more communication in Spanish, and I didn't know if there needed to be anything specific to like track that, or as you guys are like figuring out what the marketing plan is for 2024. I know you guys are a lot in the planning stages, but I don't know if there should be something more like that
In
you
terms
guys.
of programming specifically, the programming committee is tracking all of that.
Right, like I don't know if that's something that you guys would want to track, right, or just keep conscious of, because I know that there's more being done.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And that's that goal B2 that utilize Communicode to collect attendance statistics. I mean, I think that's one of the things we'll be working on in conjunction with programming, because one of the things we realize is that we've not necessarily done the best job of collecting statistics, especially in terms of figuring out how people find out about programs, and then we can use that in our marketing strategy. So it's certainly a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One thing that we did do, though, the programming committee recommended that we add a tag or a category for eventos in Espanol. So now it's one that we can run reports on, so we can see that throughout the year. So they did change all of our event types to reflect the overall strategic plan, to make sure that we're kind of covering all of our bases. And that way we can keep, we're looking at least twice a year and making adjustments as we need to. And we can track attendance that way as well, through all of these efforts.
I meant to ask this early on, Ryan. I was looking at one of the policies about providing a library card to unhoused people. How are we finding those folks, and do they just come into the library? I mean.
So that is the tricky part, definitely, with that particular policy. But Kathy Soakley, who's the head of circulation, was really pleased because we have been able to issue some cards since we've had that change. And it's it's about just teaching the staff at that desk, to be conscious, to watch, and to offer, things up. So, because we have a number of people who utilize the library but aren't necessarily seeking cards.
Just a warmth and a place to sit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Or read.
Any other questions or comments? All right, let's move on to F, fundraising action, budget timeline, page 99.
You guys have, Andrew, you want to talk about this? You need to talk about this?
Of course, we cannot believe it's here again.
I know.
Did we just finish it?
Yeah, we just finished it.
I'm fine with this. February sixth, potential capital projects. Everybody get their wish lists ready. And
To
then
be crushed.
the following month, March committee, very few of those things will appear on it. April 2nd. I speak the truth. I wish we had the money. How many years left on the loan?
What, FY 29-30, so.
29-30.
Yeah, we're getting there. I think it's the middle of that year, so it's like kind of when we get to 2030, we're good.
I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting discussion. It's not gonna be as bad, obviously it can't be as bad as this year with the 1.6
Well, it
million
can't
project,
because we don't
so.
have the money anymore.
So, but there are always projects, so we'll, I've already, I know Smriti Miguel have already been hard at work, and we've been collaborating about this initial meeting to talk about the initial project, so.
Does anybody else have an issue with this timeline?
Looks good to me.
Okay. We're all good. We're done.
All right. Page 100, membership renewals for trustees.
We skipped fundraising.
Oh, I'm sorry, we
Our
did.
update, yeah.
Fundraising update.
So the annual appeal has raised $6,775, just short of $6,800. So 6,775. Looking back at last year, if you want some context here, we raised $6,911 in 2022 for the updating the study rooms. The year before, we raised $8,380 for the quiet reading room. The year before, $7,400. So, this, I am a little disappointed though, because one of the things when we looked at this, I feel like we've done a good job the last couple of years of enhancing our annual appeal letter efforts. Last year we worked on the packaging of the letter, or the gift inside, trying to incentivize people to open it because that's half the battle. This year we focused on growing our list, so we only mailed 248 last year, which was woefully low. But using some of our advanced tools, like our analytics on demand tool, we sent out just over 1,000 letters, but that did not, as you can see, did not increase the number of donors or the total donated. So could it be, it could be a lot of different factors, right? So anyway, that's where we're at. So we'll continue to try to do better in the future. Work on our list and work on our appeal. Could it have been the cause? I don't know. So anyway, any feedback the board has is not that I'm like crushed. It's okay. It's benchmarked with previous years, but I was optimistic we would do a little bit better. So
Could it be related to the project that's,
sure, yeah.
I wonder whether everyone knows what a makerspace is, and, I mean, even though there was explanation about it, it may not appeal as much or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Or it could just be macroeconomic forces. People
True.
don't have as much to give this year. You can't control everything.
And I've talked about this with the board before. I think one of the unique challenges we have when it comes to fundraising is the fact that we are a taxing body. So most people are aware that they do contribute to support the library, and I think that somewhat limits us. Whereas if you get a letter from, Keeping Families Covered, as an example, they get some grants, I'm sure, but they really rely a lot on those private donations to operate. Probably groups like Mano a Mano, the same, right? So a lot of the nonprofits really rely a lot on the private donations, whereas obviously it helps us do more. I just think that's always going to be a challenge for us.
Well, the tax laws also changed. Right? So
Yes.
really, unless you have a lot of money to give, your charitable contributions are no longer deductible, which means they're more expensive.
Okay, any other questions on fundraising? Now let's talk about membership renewals, page 100.
Yeah, so it is that time of year again where the board gets to take advantage of some opportunities in terms of memberships to the Illinois Library Association, American Library Association, and United for Libraries, which is the fundraising arm essentially of ALA. So you can see on page 102 the history of who has had those memberships. And historically, trustees have shared any resources that receive the magazines we get. ALA is the American Libraries, ILA reporters from ILA, and then the Voice United for Libraries. So, anybody want to step up for membership, or should there be more discussion? George, how do you want to handle it?
Who wants an ALA membership this year? Anyone?
I already have them though, so I don't need them.
And I do ALA
Okay.
myself.
I'll do it.
Bonnie, you got Bonnie for ALA.
Okay.
And ILA, who wants the ILA membership this year?
I'll do it.
All right, we got one.
So usually the person who gets the ALA gets the division for United. So we add Bonnie to United for Libraries also.
Okay.
2 for 1.
And then, not something the board has to discuss tonight, but since this is part of the document Gina produced, on page 101, you can see some future opportunities in terms of continuing education. There's PLA in Columbus, Ohio, the Laconi banquet, which we don't have the details yet, ALA in San Diego. Obviously, closer, Gurney Days, we'll talk about that as it gets closer, and then ILA's in Peoria in October. And obviously some of those conferences, it's the middle of the week, it's out of town. I know it's challenging for trustees to make it there, especially if you're working full-time day jobs. So, but it's a, if it's something a trustee wanted to take advantage of. There is still some money in the budget, because we didn't send any trustees to ILA, so.
Should go to San Diego. See you guys there.
The whole board is going to San Diego. We'd have to raise the budget.
Does it
for
line
that
up
if we
with
decide
the-
to do that, so.
I mean, maybe it's because I just follow Park District. Park District send like all their people to like these things, all of them around here.
Really?
The trustees? And we do send people, usually we'll send a few people to PLA, and depending on where ALA is, we'll send some people. I think we have a fair number of people that go to ILA. So we do try to send staff as much as possible. It can be a challenge, especially like ALA in San Diego. That's going to be a costly trip for. Not that we could have sent a staff member or two, but that's with the travel and hotel, it'll be costly. So.
Yeah, I mean, definitely keep me posted about ILA that's here locally, because I don't need that ASBO this year.
Okay.
All right. Other action items for next month's meeting or for the committee of the whole meeting? Anything that's not on here already?
Do you want pictures of the roof where the bridge is going to go?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'll probably add a few personnel policies too, but I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah. Public forum. Does anyone want to speak in public forum? Do we have any announcements other than what is already on here? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It is 7:40.
We were cruising.
It's an efficient meeting.